Kevin Haig.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The Green Party will be supporting this bill as we have supported the government's other measures that it has taken towards smoke-free Aotearoa, though they are few in number. I do want to begin this contribution by particularly praising the contribution of the Māori Party, because the Māori Party has consistently now for a considerable period of time provided leadership in this area of progress towards smoke-free Aotearoa. That inquiry of the Māori Affairs Select Committee that produced a suite of recommendations, including increases in excise taxes, such as this one, was a very substantial step forward. And its goal, the goal set out in the report of that inquiry of a smoke-free Aotearoa by 2025, has been an important and galvanising goal for this Parliament and for the community seeking that end, sir. However, we are on track for achieving a smoke-free Aotearoa goal for middle-class Pākehā New Zealanders. We are not on track for achieving that goal for Māori, for Pacifica, for low socioeconomic status Pākehā New Zealanders and others. And it seems to me that unequal achievement of that goal would be an unacceptable outcome. What we know, sir, about what actually changes health behaviour is that giving people information is not enough. You know, there's the model of Homo economicus, where people are rational decision makers, and so if you just give them the information about the pros and cons of differing possible courses of actions, that will be sufficient. They will weigh those up, they will make the rational choice, and their behaviour will change. And very clearly, that is not the case with smoking. Very clearly, it is not the case in many other areas of life. What we know actually works is changing the public policy that creates the environment around those groups. And we know what actually works is empowering communities who are most affected by an issue. So environment and empowerment, that's the idea of health promotion, sir. And part of the environment, one of the factors that can be used as a tool in changing the environment is the price of a product. And this is basic microeconomic theory, that if one raises the price of a product, demand for it will fall. And it would be great, wouldn't it, if the government understood this in other areas and not just in the area of tobacco and alcohol. So tax on sugar-sweetened beverages, for example, would be something that we could consider in another debate, sir, because it doesn't relate to the excise tax on tobacco. So Mr Speaker, the Green Party supports this bill. We ask, as Marama Fox has just asked, why isn't this tax increase larger? Because, as Stuart Nash indicated earlier, there is considerable research to the effect that a larger tax increase, a bigger jolt in the excise tax would achieve a disproportionately greater effect. If that's the case, and there's no evidence to contest that, why wouldn't we do it? So, Mr Speaker, we would support a more ambitious bill. The issue of hypothecation has also been raised. And Mr Speaker, I was concerned to hear on the television news last night speculation that the revenue that government received from this increase in the excise tax over the next several years would form part of the war chest that it would later use for tax cuts and its lolly scramble budget that I'm sure we all anticipate for 2017. So, Mr. Speaker, that is not the way to proceed. The evidence is strong, in fact, that the effect of this excise tax increase will be mostly felt by the poorest New Zealanders. Now, that effect is of two sorts. It is the effect of increasing the price of a product on an already strained budget, and so an impact potentially on affordability of other products, and we are all concerned about that. But, Mr. Speaker, there is also a disproportionate benefit achieved by those New Zealanders. They stand to gain the most. They are also the most price-sensitive consumers of tobacco products. So these excise tax increases will produce a disproportionate gain as well as an impact on affordability of other products. So, Mr. Speaker, the way to actually assuage the problem of increased cost impacting on affordability of other costs like food or housing is indeed to ensure that the revenue from this excise tax is recycled into further programs to assist those New Zealanders to quit. So more quit programs, more health promotion activities, and that means social marketing campaigns that might be driven from Māori and Pacifica communities, for example. It means empowerment programs for those communities that are most affected. That's how we should be using the $425 million. That's how we should be using it, not recycling it into government coffers. So, Mr. Speaker, with that comment, I'll bring this contribution to a close. I'll add some more comments in the second reading. But indeed, the Green Party will be supporting this bill.